Let's talk about poetry for our youngest learners. It can feel a little abstract, can it? Well, today we're going to tackle standard K-2.T.T.4, and I'm going to show you a super practical, totally classroom-ready plan that makes poetic techniques like rhyme and alliteration feel like pure fun for your students.
Right? That's the big question. How do we make poetry feel like play? Because our goal isn't just getting kids to circle words on a worksheet. It's about getting them to joyfully experiment with language. And in this walkthrough, we're going to break down exactly how you can do that.
So here's our game plan. We'll start by unpacking the standard, then we'll use the evidence documents to plan. After that, I'll model the I do, and we'll walk through guided practice and differentiation. And of course, we'll wrap up with your next steps. Let's dive right in.
All right, first up, unpacking the standard. Before we can even think about teaching it, we have to know exactly what mastery is supposed to look and sound like.
Okay, this is probably the most important part of this standard. I want you to think of it like a two-sided coin. It's not enough for students to just identify these cool techniques. They actually have to create with them. So they need to find them out in the wild, in poems we read, and then turn around and use them in their own writing. That's our target.
So what does success really look like in the classroom? Well, it's seeing a student's eyes light up when they hear slimy snails sliding, and they can actually name that as alliteration. It's them pointing out a rhyme. But, the real win, the ultimate goal, is seeing them take those tools and write their own little two-line masterpiece. That is what we are aiming for.
So how do we actually plan for that success? The best part is, we don't have to guess. We are going to lean right on the official Georgia DOE evidence document. It gives us a crystal clear picture of what mastery is all about.
Seriously, think of this document as your lesson planning cheat sheet. It literally lays out the exact prompts you can use in class and even gives you examples of what a really great student response sounds like. It's pretty much the script for success.
In this comparison right here shows you just how clear this document is. On the left, you've got a student correctly pointing out that high and sky rhyme because they sound the same at the end, but look at the right. This is a huge misconception to watch out for, a student confusing alliteration with rhyme. Knowing this is a possibility ahead of time, that's a total game changer for our planning.
Okay, our plan is solid. Let's step into the classroom. It's time for Section 3, modeling the I do. This is where we make our thinking totally visible for our students using a really powerful, simple routine.
Now, at the heart of our lesson is this awesome strategy card. It gives us a really simple but powerful four-step routine. Read, identify, create, and perform. And this loop is something you can use again and again, which builds that predictability and confidence for your students.
Okay, so imagine this poem is up on an anchor chart. First, I'd read it aloud with a lot of expression. Then I'd start my think aloud, something like this. All right, everyone, let's look at this poem. Speedy soccer ball soaring so high. I'm hearing a lot of words starting with that s sound. Speedy, soccer, soaring. Hey, that's alliteration. Okay, let me keep reading. Soaring so high, sailing and spinning across the blue sky. Wait a minute. High and sky. They sound the same at the end. That must be a rhyme.
And boom! Right after I model my thinking, I'm going to turn it over to the students with a question pulled straight from that evidence document. This is our first quick check for understanding. I'm listening for them to say high and sky, and, I'm hoping some of my superstars might even catch team and dream. So, we've modeled it. Now it's time to gradually release that responsibility. We're going to move smoothly from the we do of guided practice right into the you do for independent work. For our we do, it is partner time. Students are going to get this worksheet with the slow snail song, and their job is simple. Read it together, underline any rhymes they find, and circle the alliteration. You see, they're practicing the exact skills we just modeled, but now they're doing it with a friend.
And while they're working, I'm circulating. If I overhear a student saying that slow and slimy rhyme, I can step in with this really precise positive correction. This is such a crucial teacher move. Notice how it's not a big deal. It just quickly reteaches the concept and gets them right back on track. And now for the you do. This is my favorite part, where it all comes together. Using step 4 on their worksheet, students get to become the poets. They'll take everything we've practiced and create their very own original two-line poem. This is how we make sure we hit both sides of the standard, moving from just identifying to actually creating.
Of course, in any classroom, we have a whole range of learners. So let's talk about how we can support everyone and, just as important, how we can assess their work in a meaningful way. To support all our learners, we can pull a fantastic scaffold right from the evidence document. For a student who just feels stuck, a simple sentence frame like, I am like a blank can be all they need to get their wheels turning. It's a small support that unlocks the creative part of the task, which is really what this is all about.
Assessing their work is actually pretty straightforward. We can use their worksheet as a quick check. Did they underline the right rhymes? Did they circle the alliteration in the snail poem? And then we look at their original poem. And listen, we're not looking for a masterpiece here. We're looking for the attempt. Did they try to use a rhyming pair or a little alliteration? That shows us they're on their way to getting it.
Okay, let's wrap this up and recap that core instructional loop you can use to teach pretty much any poem you want.
So here it is, the core instructional loop. This is your repeatable routine. First, we identify the techniques in a poem. Second, we analyze. We talk about why the author might have used them. Third, our students create their own work. And finally, and this is so important, they perform it. This cycle takes them from just being readers to being creators, and that builds such a deep understanding.
So there you have it. The standard, the evidence, and a clear, powerful routine to bring it all to life. The only question left is the one you see right here. What amazing poem are your students going to explore tomorrow?